I'm going to be turning this into a licensing series, which I've been meaning to do on Sam IT anyway, but I want to cover this really quickly. So first, the analogy, right? What is this like? So imagine there's a house that you're interested in, right? It's down at the end of the street. It costs $500,000. It's great. You love it. You currently have a shed that you bought from the same real estate agent, and you live down the street. It only cost you $50,000, and the limitation was you had to live in the shed. You couldn't live in a mansion because you didn't pay for the mansion. That's down the street. You were offered the mansion. You didn't pay $500,000 for it. It's down the street. It's someone else's house now. Now, you go to a store and you buy a hammer. This hammer, you go to the store and say, will this hammer work for working on my house? Right? And they say, yeah, you can work on your shed with this hammer. Great. So you take that hammer home. And then you also ask the shop, will this work on other houses? Would it work on the mansion down the street? Like, sure, you could also work on the mansion down the street with this hammer. So you go home with your hammer and you walk down to the mansion and you use the hammer to bash down the front door and take over the house. And when the police show up and say, well, why did you break into this house? You say, I didn't break in. I own this house. Well, how do you own this house? Well, I went to the store down the street and bought a hammer, and they said it would work in this house. Therefore, this house is now mine. Right? And that's what's happening in these situations with a third-party vendor saying, this is places where this device will physically work, and we're willing to, the store might say, if you use a hammer in these different types of houses, we'll still support it. It's still designed to put in the nails in all those environments, right? That's all they're saying. You're then using that to break in and take a house that wasn't one you paid for. Doesn't make any sense. And in a physical situation like that, that's really obvious how crazy that is. And my phone died.